Damn, hustling, 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 hustling. Every
welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news and analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share so other people can spam the like button and hit the share. Let's get this party started, y'all. It is February 3rd, or excuse me, May 3rd. Jesus. May 3rd, 2025. Bitcoin, as of the time of recording, sitting at $96,195. I believe Monday, the stock market might be closed. Is that correct? My wife's boyfriend laughed in my face today. You hate to see it. Ski, respect Hope you'll upload some trading videos. Of course. So cool, the intro. Wow, thank you. I appreciate it. 1 2 3 1 1 2. Check. What's up, everybody? It's Saturday. All right. Can you see where Uni is on the chart? Let's get into it. Markets open Monday. Okay, thanks for that. I wasn't sure. Let's take a look at Uni. Altcoins did not do much. It's the weekend. I'm actually suspicious of weekend pumps. I am suspicious of weekend pumps. This looks pretty good for Uni. Might be a micro accumulation here. Your selling climax, your secondary test, your spring, even like accumulation within accumulation here. Let's go on the 5-hour here. This might be a good spot to add. I have a long open, but I might add to my long on Uni. Me, myself, and I says, ah, man, I missed you, bro. I missed you too. Missed you too, bro. 10 out of 10. Yo, just hit back and buys. Great feeling. It's the best feeling. It's the best feeling. We don't need no gaps anyhow. That's right. Literally. I hope Sonic does something this month. Sonic's looking good. I really like where Sonic is at in the micro, in the medium, and in the macro. We are currently having 2 states, North Carolina and Texas, that are waiting for governor signature to sign Bitcoin as strategic reserve into law. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Bitcoin is Texas is a bigger one than you even think, right? So Texas is basically the 6th or 7th largest country. You know, like Texas is massive. It's like, it would be like if France or Canada signed a Bitcoin strategic reserve. It's a big deal. Texas is way bigger than people think. Is Sandbox a good play? The chart looks yummy to me. I think that Sandbox chart is yummy, but I'm not sure about their tokenomics. Let me see. It's not that bad. Maybe past inflation. There was a little bit. So 717 to 852. Not that bad. It's all right. Let's take a look at Sand's chart. Me, myself, and I. Thank you for the $4.99 donation, brother. I appreciate you.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Says, take a look at Flux. Thoughts on Flux? Okay, we'll take a look at Flux. I'll say quickly, though, while we're waiting. Yeah, I like this. I don't mind this chart at all for Sand. It has the same setup as what we've been talking about. Retracement, I think, is 420, excuse me. You could take that to the bank. Literally take it to the bank. My thoughts on Flux are, it's been a bystander of Ethereum's lackluster performance. So in order to chart Flux, let's start with Ethereum, right? And my thoughts on Ethereum are, finally, after months and months and months of being in a downtrend, it is finally broken out of the downtrend. Now, that doesn't mean off the sunshines and rainbows and go pick out your Lamborghini tomorrow, but this is the start of what I believe to be an uptrend, and we've already had a couple higher lows already. And I think in the very near future, Ethereum is going to go to 3,000 minimum of a retrace. And a lot of the coins like Rose, like VeChain, like Link, like Theta, like FLUX are going to feel the heat of that because ultimately they're in the ecosystem of Ethereum. So I think that FLUX's bad performance over the last couple months is a direct correlation of Ethereum's terrible, terrible performance. So with that, let's look at FLUX. Can we chart the total 3? We sure can. I can, I will, I must. And same thing too. FLUX has broken out of this downtrend as well. But macro analysis, it's still the same. It's just been at this downtrend for a while. So a medium target, this has been at play for a little while here, is going to be 82 cents. A medium target. Ultimately, retracement and parabolic is still the same for me. Nothing about that has broken. There isn't like inflation like crazy on FLUX or anything like that. So this is trading with Ethereum right now. Texas is so big they have their own stock exchange. Yeah, that's right. Slight divergence. Ethereum has from Bitcoin today. Ethereum is running up a bit today. Yes, listen, somebody, was it you, Punky? Ski go camping again? I got you. Was it you, Punky, that said, my God, if Bitcoin pulls back to 88K, alts are going to get crushed worse than their bear market lows? I don't think so. Because to me, here's what I think is a Jesus. My God. I'm dying. My God, guys. Here's what I think is reasonable for Bitcoin right now, that this is the bottom structure, right? We've been talking about this for days and days and days. This is clearly the SOS, right? We've been talking about this ad nauseum. And I think Bitcoin dominance is at the finality, the last phase of phase C, and then we're going to start to work our way out. So there's a reasonable chance that Bitcoin pulls back to 88K. Not that the altcoins are going to run or anything like that, but dominance starts to actually reverse course. And so I don't think that I think we're moving into a phase where the altcoins are not going to be hurt as much with the pullbacks, and they're really going to feel it a lot more with the push-ups. That's what I think. Let's look at the total 3. Price target on ICP. It's still the same, $35 minimum. $100 is the most probable, and $138 is the absolute max. Solana, $420 to $500 is my target. You still see Theta getting to $40? Yes. Ski definitely eats his steaks undercooked. I like mine mooing. I gave you guys my steak recipe the other day. But here it is. You get that cast iron red hot. You throw that big boy. I like a fat boy. I like a 1.5 inch steak. Give me that thick cut, maybe 2 inches. A minute and a half on one side, basin, basin, basin. A minute and a half on the other side, basin, basin, basin. Put it in aluminum foil for 10 minutes. It's done, ready to eat. That's all you need. Ain't nothing fancy, but I like it mooing. All right, let's look at the total 3. I had a Wagyu burger yesterday, and it was fantastic. It's a different thing. Black and blue. Says, bro, you actually called the local bottom of 74K. Impressive. Thank you. I appreciate it, bro. No one believed me. It's okay. In my career, 9 times I've said that the bottom was in. 9 times. One time, One time, I was wrong. February. The other 8 times, I was correct on the day. So February, I had it wrong. The other times, all the other 8 times, I was correct on the day. So pretty good track record. Not perfect. I do not bat 1,000, but I have a damn good track record. All right, what was I looking at? The total 3. I put my calls against anybody. Webb believed. TA on Bitcoin. Okay, we'll get back to Bitcoin after the total 3. Ski, what do you think when the tariffs are back in the topic? Bitcoin has already bottomed, in my opinion. You could make a strong argument that this is the same thing for the total 3. You could make a very strong, compelling case that this is your selling climax right here. This is your secondary test, and this is your spring. Okay, so rephrase the question a little bit on Bitcoin. Retracement is about $970 billion market cap. So in order for the alts to catch up, or the total 3 to catch up to Bitcoin, it would be about a 20% move from here. It's already had a pretty significant move from the bottom. I do believe I said oh, excuse me, I had that wrong. Hold on. I said by the end of the May, 50% move, so it's a 16% move will catch up to Bitcoin. And we are up right now from the bottom about 25%. The height was 27%. So still have some time, but I think that that's basically what we're going to. I think that the total 3 is going to catch up to Bitcoin. And this is what I'm talking about. Let's overline the total 3 right now. I've been saying that I think that the altcoins and the stock market is a beat behind Bitcoin. A beat or 2 behind Bitcoin, where Bitcoin's a little bit further along. Let's get a cleaner chart here. A cleaner chart here. Let's get a cleaner chart here. Here we go. Okay. So to me, Bitcoin is a beat ahead, right, of the altcoins. And when we pull a Fibonacci, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's the same structure. It's just a little bit ahead. So selling climax, secondary test in phase B, your spring. This is your sign of strength. The total 3 is working on the sign of strength. Maybe perhaps right here, right? Well, let's go to the 5 hour. It's a little bit cleaner there, right? This first move out of here and it chopped a little bit. That's kind of where I think that the altcoins are, right here. The move out of the spring, a little bit of chop before you start your true SOS. And that's about $950 billion to $988 billion market cap for the total 3. That would catch up to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin to me has clearly bottomed. The next macro phase is phase E, which we've talked about this a lot. I will do it again. Bitcoin basically is somewhere in this neck of the woods, where the total 3 is somewhere in this neck of the woods. Both, I believe, have bottomed, though. The next macro is phase E for Bitcoin, which is 118. That's the markup. That's the bull run. Okay? So the total 3 is a beat or 2 behind. As far as the tariffs, price prediction for AVAX. We'll look at AVAX. One time at boot camp, I called the bottom and I was wrong. I think that was the wrong kind of bottom. That was the wrong kind of bottom, bro. I'm sure we had the test and the spring as well when you look at Bitcoin in the lower time frames. Yeah, I think so, for sure. I think so. If I were to put a nice little neat bow on where Bitcoin is, in my opinion, we're somewhere in this phase. Okay. And this isn't a one-to-one. People have made the mistake of saying that this is one-to-one, but this is not. So if you do the time, like how long did it take to go from here so from November of 21 till the move higher was 710 days. And the same time is 108 days. So every day is basically 7 days. What do you think of the what you think peak total 3 hits? 3 trillion? I'm not sure what my peak target was. Uh, 2.45 is my medium case. I think 3 trillion is very reasonable. 3.3 trillion. So, my low case. All right, I'm gonna give you low, medium, high. My low is 1.85 trillion. My medium is 2.5 trillion, and my high is 3.3 trillion. When are we moving higher? We already did. Bitcoin was just at 74K a month ago. He says the total market cap for everything will be 8 to 12 trillion. I have similar targets. Mine's a little bit more conservative. My low is 6 trillion. My medium is 7 trillion. And my high is 8.8 trillion, but in the same neighborhood. In the same neighborhood. I'm always a bit more conservative with my targets, even though sometimes I get accused of being like crazy with my targets. I think I'm pretty conservative. Thoughts on IOTA? We need China to join crypto and take VeChain to $1. It could happen. 246 is my low for 204060 is my low, medium, high for VeChain. Solana is 420, 510, and 600. ETH is 3,300, 7,000, and 10,000. Let's look at IOTA. IOTA looks pretty good. Really good. Make sure you guys spam the like button, hitting the share so other people can spam the like button. What is the inflation on IOTA? Beautiful. Dead even. If anything, there's deflation. IOTA to me is a extreme value. This is the same setup as Bitcoin in 2013 that we've been talking about a lot. VeChain is what? I'll look at AVAX in just a second. 204060, low, medium, high. All right, on the top is IOTA. And I just looked at the inflation on IOTA. There is no inflation. Low to no. Okay, this is not a good one. What is going on here? $20, $40, $60, bro. Danny boy, thank you for the goat.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Let me say it again. My VeChain target is 20 cents is my low case, 40 cents is my medium case, 60 cents is my bull case. Let's finish this thought before I get what is this chart right now? Trying to finish IOTA here. Okay, here we go. This is the same setup that I've been looking for all year. On the top is IOTA. And on the bottom is Bitcoin from 2013 through 2017. This is 2021 through present. You have the same setup here. Same structure, okay? You could replace IOTA with 677 coins. Okay, it's about structure. Markdown, that's what we call the bear market. Markdown, accumulation, accumulation, sign of strength, back test, reaccumulate, back test, reaccumulate, move higher than the sign of strength, move higher than the sign of strength, back test, reaccumulate, and you start to gruel your way higher. IOTA has already made a higher low as well and a higher high. As we can see, it's already taken this out. So it's already in this gruel up phase, in my opinion. This is the end of the story for that structure. It's still going. It's still going. It's still going. It's still going. Still. Now, I don't think it's going to go that crazy. My target retracement, $1.50. I think that's plenty to reasonably take profit. That's a 6x from here. I'm going to be de-risking heavily. And then parabolic would be $6. So that's my thoughts on IOTA. IOTA is a, looks like a solid play. 12 cents is good enough. AVAX. Could all jump if Powell comes out on Wednesday and says 4 rate cuts unlikely this year? I don't think that 4 rate cuts. Isn't IOTA conspired a dead coin? I don't know, bro. What are they conspiring with? Who's conspiring? Are they conspiring against Bitcoin? I don't really care what people consider what. I care about structure, price, supply, demand. People considered 74K. You know, you just gave me my flowers earlier. People considered 74K the start of us going to 50K. I don't know who considers it a dead coin. Can you look at Vitho? For me, looks primed to run. I agree. I have a long in Vitho right now. I have a present long. I'm up a lot on that long. What am I up on that? I'm not sure. What am I up? Algo, Wind, Moon. When the whole market does its thing. Let's look at AVAX before I forget. Why do you have a long if it will drop when Bitcoin corrects? I talked about this earlier. So first of all, one thing is everyone is certain that it's going to correct, and at some point it will. Hold on. Hold that thought. Let me finish this before I get distracted. Ask me that question in 1 minute. All right. So AVAX is below the 236. It already hit the retracement, so the only thing left is price discovery, which is a 5x from here, as high as an 8x. So 5 to 8x for AVAX. To me, it already hit the retracement on market cap. 5x takes you to $130. 8x is $171. What do you think is the top AI coin? FLUX? All right. Foregone says, why do you have a long if it will drop when Bitcoin corrects? Okay. Are the altcoins going to drop when Bitcoin corrects? Yes. That's true. That is true. Right? No one's arguing that that's not true. That's true. Altcoins will drop when Bitcoin corrects. That's generally what we see. The question is, when is Bitcoin going to correct? Because this is a bottoming structure right here. This is a bottoming structure. Far into the bottoming structure. Not a little bit, not some of it, past it. Past the bottoming structure. Okay? Right here. In my opinion, Bitcoin is somewhere in phase D. About to start phase E. Are we going to get a back test? It's very likely that we don't. It's very likely that we don't. We've already made a higher low again. That's number one. Number two, this is a topping structure. And I just think that whatever pullbacks we get from this point on are not going to be as much as you think. They're not going to be as long as you think. So I don't know when Bitcoin Dominance is going to finish this last move, because this is the reverse of a bottoming structure. This is a topping structure. And it's somewhere in phase C, in my opinion. I don't know when it's going to finish this move right here, but there's a reasonable plausibility that when Bitcoin pulls back in the very near future, the altcoins are not going to pull back as hard as they've been doing. And I said at the beginning of the live stream too, Bitcoin is clearly deep in accumulation. And I think that Bitcoin is a beat or two ahead of the rest of the market. Where the Bitcoin's at the 618 retracement, the total and the others and the total 3 is below the 236, but has the same structure, has not gotten the SOS yet. Very, very oversold. And we know this about crypto. We know this about crypto. When it's in a grueling phase, when it finally breaks that structure, when it finally breaks a downtrend, it does it violently. When it breaks a down structure, it does so violently. When it breaks a down structure, it does so violently. Should we sell in May? I just made a video about that, Gina. Can you teach us a bit about Fibonacci and how you use it? What levels do you look at? It still needs to get past yesterday's lows. 100K is the line in the sand right now. I'm going to tell you. For Bitcoin, I'll give you a free level. The 702 Fibonacci. The 702 is the decider. Okay? That's the decider. I made a little video about this earlier. If this is Bitcoin, all right, this is Bitcoin right here. A bouncy ball. This is a retrace. If you drop from the top, from the parabolic top, you drop it and it bounces 50 to 70%, that's a retrace. If I slam it, that's parabolic. Retrace, parabolic. Okay, and when we look at Fibonacci's, the 702 is the decider. Did we get dropped and retrace, or are we going parabolic? If you get above the 702, 9 times out of 10, you go parabolic. We are flirting with the 702 right now. So the question is, are we going to get here, get rejected, and come back, reaccumulate? That's fine. Or are we going to break through it? The 702 is 100K. That's also a huge psychological level as well. Elk, thanks for the hat and mustache and the rose. Yeehaw!
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
The market is now pricing in for rate cuts the rest of the year. If he comes out dovish on that, suggesting higher for longer, again, markets could reverse heavily. I think the markets are beaten down. I'm not going to predict what Jerome Powell or Trump's going to do. I'm going to look at structure. I'm going to look at markets. And to me, the bottom is in. So I don't really care. That's my answer. I'm not going to make my investment thesis off of what another man does. I'm going to look at the structure. Whether it has 3, 5, 7, Lakers and 5. That's my thoughts. Says, come on, your boy Ski. Need Sonic to hit $1. Make it happen. Do you think it will happen by the end of the year? I think it's very plausible. Low, medium, high for Sonic. 10 cents, $1, $5.89. What up, Sonic community? What's up? When do you think the market will start moving? Bro, going from 74K to 97K, that's moving. That's 4 years of stock market moving. The market's moving. This is disbelief rally. The market has moved. Past tense. It has moved. 4 years of stock market gains. That's what Bitcoin just did from last month to this month. Past tense. Can we look at Arrow? Would you long with anticipation of Sunday pump since Saturday dumped? I don't like trading the weekends unless I see like really good value. I'm not gonna predict a pump or a dump tomorrow. Realistically, weekend trades are retail led trades. Institutions aren't moving the markets, and to be honest, it's fake moves. Whether you get good action or not. I'm not saying I don't trade on the weekends, but I'm not gonna anticipate. Today we had a dump. Tomorrow we're gonna pump. I'm not gonna do that. That's not what I do. How do you analyze ETH? ETH, to me, has been one of the most lackluster performers and has been just brutalized, beaten down. A lot of coins have been a bystander of this. And Ethereum dominant, or excuse me, Bitcoin dominance has been absolutely rampaging to the upside because of Ethereum's lackluster performance. All that being said, though, I think it's finally broken this downtrend and is starting to make higher highs and higher lows on the micro level. I believe it is a beat or two behind Bitcoin. As we can see here, higher highs, higher lows. It's a beat or two behind Bitcoin. And the sign of strength would take you to about $3,300. To me, in the very near future, Ethereum is going to make that move. And we're going to see that in Bitcoin dominance. We're going to see that on the ecosystem coins of Ethereum, like Theta, like Flux, like Rose, like VeChain, like Link, like Quant. All these coins that are in the ecosystem of Ethereum that have been bystanders of Ethereum's lackluster performance are really going to feel the heat from that. So I think the minimum, that's what Ethereum's going to do, is 3,300. Is there a typical time frame for how long accumulation, or does it vary greatly? Yeah, listen, the truth is it varies greatly. But generally, you see a month or so. Like, I'll give you some past. How about that? Let's look at some past accumulations. So this is a reaccumulation right here. This is called a reaccumulation. After a breakout, you get what's called a reaccumulation. So it's a little bit different. But for context, this took, I'm on the 5-hour chart. Hold on. I'll show you this reaccumulation schematic here in a bit, but this took 230 days. This was accumulation right here. And before it reversed, it took about 230 days. This is distribution, the opposite of accumulation. It took 300 days. This was accumulation right here. It took 163 days. So the answer is, like, when you're analyzing it on a macro time, generally you see like 100+ days. But Wyckoff shows up on every time frame, though. I just do it on a macro time frame because that's what I'm better at. But this is 60 days. We've seen 60 days play out before. If you want to count this as full accumulation, you very well could. This was about 60+ days too. 68 days before you work your way out of here. Pepe is on ETH. I think Pepe will be a good performer if ETH performs well. I feel like we're going to hit 72K in the next dip. Everyone said that at 74K. 72K to me is the... what is 72K? Okay, so when we pulled back to 49K, everyone said we were going to 30K. Back in August of 2024. When we pulled back from 70K all the way back to 49K, everyone said we're going to 30K. When the war in Israel happened and we pulled back to 25K, everyone said we were going to 12K. When FTX went to 0 and we pulled back to 15,500, everyone said we're going to 12K. When Luna collapsed and we went to 17,400, everyone said we're going to 12K. That was the number I was hearing like crazy. When we pulled back to 74K, everyone said 72K. And greed, people know about greed. Let me put you guys on game. Okay. Let me get a clean chart. And let's talk about greed. People understand clearly greed, that they buy the top, right? You FOMO in because of greed, because you want it to go higher. People are well aware of that, right? But where greed shows up almost more than that, almost more than FOMOing in the top, greed shows up at the bottom, right? We see this all the time. We see greed show up all the time, not only at the top, but at the bottom, where fear is what's like prevalent. But what you see traders do, and why I call it greed, is when Bitcoin is at 17K, 16K, 15K, 20K, they're waiting for 12K. They're waiting for 12K, and then they're going to go all in. They're waiting for 10K, and then we're going to go all in. They're waiting for it to come back to 15. After we break from 16K up to 24K, we're going to wait for it to come back to 16K again, and then we're going to go all in. That's greed. That's waiting for the day that never comes. And what happens when you wait for the day that never comes is you miss your plane ticket. You miss the ride. So in my opinion, 72K is plausible. Sure. After an all-time high. After 118. After 138. After 207. Book suggestions. Top 5 books. Here we go. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It's my favorite book of all time. It's the same guy who wrote Think and Grow Rich. That's the most famous self-help book of all time. Think and Grow Rich. It's the same author. He wrote Outwitting the Devil. It's not a religious book. But in the book, he teaches you, like, he's interviewing the devil, right? And the devil's giving away all of his secrets on how he gets people to stay in bondage, to not reach their goals, to be in lack, to be in all these things. And what he says is there's 2 main things that are the cause of this. Fear is his greatest ally, and drifting is his greatest ally. So that's my favorite book of all time. I like that book a lot. What are some other books that I like? The Bitcoin Standard is really good. Everyone in crypto should read the Bitcoin Standard. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. What else do we got? That's number 2. That is number 2. A Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Mastering Emotions, The Game of Life. How to Play It. How to Win Friends, Influence People. Is that 5? Do we see Bitcoin at 40K? No. No, we do not. If we are lucky, we will see it at 50K. If we are lucky and the stars align, we will see it at 50K. If I have a hard time though, because there's a good plausibility. This is the thing. Here's the deal. People are talking out of both sides of their mouth. They say a 4-year cycle is over. See you in 4 years. It's different this time. See you in 4 years. Worst bull market of all time. Gonna be the worst bear market of all time. Right? You can't have your cake and eat it. If it's different this time, guess what? It's different for real. If the 4-year cycle's over, there's no more 4 years. If it's the worst bull market of all time, guess what? It's not going to be a bad bear market. Because you know what causes violent bear markets? Violent bull markets. Okay? There's a strong argument, a strong case. That was it. Bear market over. Done. $74.4 was as best as we're going to get. All right, look at this. If you want to tell me 4-year cycle is over, I'll believe you. I'll buy that for $1. But that means that this was distribution. Right here is the 2021 bull market. This is the 2022 bear market. Bear market. Accumulation. Accumulation. Sign of strength. Sign of strength. It's over. If you want to tell me that the 4-year cycle's over, I'll buy it for $1. But that means we're done with accumulation. The bottom is in. So are we going to 40K? No. I would be shocked. Do you still DCA into Bitcoin? I do, every week. I view Bitcoin as a savings account. I save my money in gold, Bitcoin, and silver. So yeah, listen. If you want to tell me that it's different this time, Bitcoin's going to behave differently, okay, I'll buy that. You know what that means, though? There's a strong plausibility. I'm not predicting this necessarily. There's a strong plausibility, though, that Bitcoin starts to behave like the Dow Jones, where you have, maybe a year of a downtrend, followed by 5 to 6 years of uptrend. And it looks more like this. It looks more like this. So yeah. Are we going to get 40K? No, we're not. April 7th, 2025, video evidence documented. Go look at my videos. I said bottoms in, boys. When was April 7th? Right here. Right here. April 7th, 2025, video evidence documented. Bottoms in, boys. That was my hook. I know there's some ladies that are watching too. Z-Back. Hi, Sonny. What's up? All right, Z-Back. I don't mind Z-Back. I think Z-Back is accumulation, which is the bottom. Accumulation equals bottom. Distribution equals top. Mark up equals bull run. Mark down equals bear market. That is Wyckoff lingo into crypto lingo. There you go. So now we're all caught up. Accumulation equals bottom. Distribution equals top. Mark up, that's bull market. Mark down, that's bear market. There you go. Lingo. Write it down. It'll be on the test. What up, Dubsky? So this is accumulation to me, and I think that it's starting the sign of strength, which will take you to about 0025. Parabolic is a 0076. But all the people calling for bear market are basically saying the 4-year cycle is over. The two aren't mutually exclusive. Yeah, but they say it. They say it and see you in 4 years. Do you know how many comments? Look at my comment section, bro. Just look. Take a peep on Twitter. Take a peep on my comment section, and you'll see. See you in 4 years. Look on the scary times when Bitcoin's at 74K, 75K. Look on the pullbacks, and that's what you'll see. See you in 4 years. Pack it up, boys. That's what they're saying. Hello, bro. How are you? I'm doing fantastic. Taking notes, Savage Skis. How's the Sonic chart looking? Sonic chart's looking fantastic. Sonic is my number one 100x play. This was the markdown. We broke the downtrend. Higher low, higher low. When we go on a smaller time frame, you can even count this as accumulation within accumulation. Your markdown, selling climax, secondary test. This is accumulation right now. within accumulation, the bigger accumulation. So it's at the 236, which is excellent value. I think if you can get it under 5 million, you are stealing it. What do you think about Elliott wave theory? Seen that on Bitcoin now and others. Okay, let's talk about it. I just made a video about this. Is Bitcoin going back to 88K? That's plausible. That's plausible. I have limit orders if we get there. I'm not predicting that, but that is very plausible. That's not unreasonable. That would just be a back test of the prior range. That would be back to the 382 on top of the prior range. That would be a textbook level. The truth of the reality is, let's talk about Bitcoin, and then we're going to talk about Elliott waves. We talked about this a little bit. It's at a retracement level. Okay, this is not a great place to trade, honestly, because when you're at the 702, which is where we're at right now. Okay, this is the 702 Fibonacci retracement. When you're at the 702 or near it, the 702 is the decider. Are you going parabolic or are you retracing and back testing to 88K? 88K is not always the number, but it is the number this time. So the 702 is the decider. If we break above 100K, we're going to 118K. If we get rejected, we're coming back to 88K. Both of those are equally as plausible, which is why I think it's not a great place to trade Bitcoin right now. It's okay to buy it, but I don't think it's a great place to trade it right now. Personally. Now, let's talk about Elliott wave theory and Bitcoin, because listen, this is the crazy thing. I've been making videos about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for 5 years. I've made over 2,000 videos about cryptocurrency and TA and all this and that, right? I've made 2,000 videos about cryptocurrency. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? Because I go live 5-6 days a week. I've done that for 5 years. 5 years. I've been going live almost every day. Sometimes I take off some weeks or days or whatever, but generally 5 days a week I go live, and people come into my comments and people comment on my videos, and I upload 3 to 5 videos every single day, and people comment on my videos, and they always give me their hot takes, where we're going, why we're going there, and maybe very rarely I will hear about Elliott wave. Maybe once in a blue moon. Maybe once every couple months I'll hear one person talk about Elliott wave. But all of a sudden, one day I woke up and everybody is an Elliott wave expert. I haven't heard nothing from anybody over the last 5 years on Elliott wave. And all of a sudden, I woke up one day and everyone is an Elliott wave expert. Right? Everyone's an Elliott wave expert, right? And what everyone is saying is because they're feeding it into a narrative that they want to perpetuate, that Bitcoin is working on wave 5. That's what everyone is saying. And the reason I have an issue with this, number one, because no one was talking about Elliott wave a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Right? Nobody was talking about it. So to me, it feels so much like a bear saying, but Black Swan. Translation, my trades are wrecked. And I need a Black Swan to save me. Right? So the issue, listen, I believe in Elliott wave. I think there's a lot of merit to Elliott wave. I'm not an Elliott wave expert. Wyckoff is my bread and butter. Elliott wave is not. That being said, this is what bears, I would say, are clamoring, that this was wave 5 and this is your A, B, C correction. I don't think this. Because there's the problem with Elliott wave is there's so much discretion that can be had. Is this wave one? Is this wave one? Right? Is this all wave one? Is this all wave two? I would argue. Is this wave three? Are we still working on wave three? I would argue yes. And the reason I would argue this is simply from a psychological standpoint. Just observing, nobody's talking about Elliott Wave for the past 5 years. All of a sudden, we wake up one day, everyone's an Elliott Wave expert. So if we're working on Elliott Wave, to me, this is where we're at, not the fifth wave. Uh-oh, I got a test from TikTok. Oh my God, guys. Somebody help me. What do we got? 2 objects. Hold on, I didn't study for this. 2 objects. Are we good? Okay, we're good. We're good. We made it. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Time frames matter. I agree. We'll see. Wave 3 is normally the biggest. Well, there you go. It's because JPEG, LOL. Where's ETH going? I think ETH goes to 3,300 minimum. To me, let's go back to Wyckoff, which is my bread and butter. Wyckoff accumulation. This is what Bitcoin is doing, in my opinion. Bottom structure. It's already at the retracement. To me, Bitcoin is a beat ahead of the altcoins and the Dow Jones. So, Ethereum, where Bitcoin is already in phase D of Wyckoff. I'll show you. So this is textbook Wyckoff, literally from the text, okay? Settling climax, secondary test goes lower than the settling climax. Spring goes lower than the secondary test in phase B. This is a bottoming structure. This is as textbook of a bottoming structure as you can get, literally, okay? So this is what we got. Selling climax, secondary test in phase B goes lower than the selling climax. Spring goes lower than the secondary test in phase B. Then you get your test, which is about the same as the test in B. Then you get your LPS, and your sign of strength is phase D of Wyckoff accumulation. Okay? After phase D, which we're somewhere in here, in my opinion, for Bitcoin, after phase D, you start phase E, which is the mark up. That should take us to about $118,000 for Bitcoin. To me, Bitcoin is a beater or two ahead of Bitcoin. Or excuse me, Bitcoin's a beat or two ahead of the altcoins. And this is finally broken out of a downtrend. And let's overlay this over Bitcoin. So on the top is Ethereum. And on the bottom, we're going to do Bitcoin. Because I believe that Bitcoin is a beat or two ahead of Ethereum. Let's get a cleaner chart. Let's get a cleaner chart. There we go. All right, and this was the downtrend right here. We just broke the downtrend. I'll just make one for you so you can visualize it. So we broke the downtrend. To me, there was a moment. This is a little bit cleaner right here, actually. There was a moment after you break the downtrend on Bitcoin. I'm going to show you right here. Where you break the downtrend and you get this little waddle right here above the downtrend. To me, right here, that is where Ethereum is. That is the same structure. And then you get your sign of strength, which for Bitcoin took us to the 618. For if Ethereum goes to the 618 micro, that is $3,300. I think in the very near future, that is going to happen. Like, think about this. Less than a month, all of this happened for Bitcoin. Bitcoin went from 74.4 all the way to the SOS in 20 days. So if you think that like, oh, we got more time, okay. Okay. Think what you like. Big Brother at it again. You hate to see it. All right. Says, thanks, bud. Is Rose still a value play along with Dent? Yes. Show Elliott Wave for us last cycle. I'm not an Elliott Wave guy. I'm a Wyckoff guy. And listen, if you guys want an Elliott Wave guy, I'll tell you the guy who I respect more than anybody. All right, I'm going to tell you. The technical, there's very few pure technical analyzers who I regard what they say of high respect. Not necessarily I always agree with them, but high respect for their analysis and that they really put in the work. And they're not just content creators, they are technical analyzers who really put in the work and make content. They're not content creators, they are technical analysts. Okay? The person who I respect in that regard, who is a Wyckoff bread and butter. I am not a Wyckoff bread and butter. I know Wyckoff. That's not my bread and butter. My bread and butter is, excuse me. Elliott Wave is their bread and butter. That's not my bread and butter. Wyckoff is my bread and butter. Okay, so it's blockchain backer. That's the Elliott Wave master, in my opinion. He does not think we're in Wave 5. But you can go watch his stuff. He has a lot of great stuff, too. Yeah. So there you go. That's who I respect as far as Elliott Wave goes. Can you use Elliott Wave indicators? Yeah. In my opinion, we're still in Wave 5. The count you have from Elliott isn't not correct. My indicators say Wave 5. No, I wasn't. Listen, I wasn't showing that this is what it is. To 120. My target is 118. So it's the same. Doesn't Elliott Wave play out within Wyckoff? Yes, it does. You could argue that this is just Wyckoff. Yes, absolutely. You could argue this is Wyckoff accumulation right here. This is distribution. It's the same. I see it differently. What happened to all those predictions you told that never happened? I don't know, bro. What are you talking about? When April 7th, 2024, when I said the bottom's in, boys, video evidence documented. Are you talking about that one? April 7th. Do you know what day April 7th was? It was the bottom. Go look at my videos. April 7th. Not April 8th, not April 7th. I said the bottom's in, boys. 74.4. Here's why. Or how about August 5th, 2024? I said the bottom's in. Or how about 9/11, 2023? After the war in Israel, the bottom's in. We're not going lower. I'll shave my head if we go lower. Or how about November 8th, 2022? Video evidence documented. The bottom's in. We're not going lower. I will shave my head if we go lower. Come on now. Which ones are we talking about here? 9 times in my career, I've said that the bottom is in. 8 times I was correct on the day. On the day. Bro, what will happen in your opinion? Bitcoin going to 118K or altcoins pull back? In my opinion, altcoins are as oversold as they're going to be. I could be wrong about that. I think that Bitcoin is a beat ahead of the altcoins. That's what I think. He says that was the worst 9/11 in history. I think you're right. When alt season, when Bitcoin Dominance decides to chill out. In my opinion, Bitcoin Dominance is working on the UTAD, which is phase C of a distribution. Phase C. It's somewhere in here. I don't know if it's here, here. It's somewhere in this phase right here. When alt season, when phase C plays out and we start to roll over, we have gotten our buying climax, we have gotten our upthrust. We have textbook for a UTAD because we're already higher than the UT. So textbook, buying climax, upthrust goes higher than the buying climax. UTAD goes higher than the upthrust. Buying climax, upthrust goes higher than the buying climax. UTAD goes higher than the upthrust. We have all the stipulations. We also have a bearish divergence right now. But we have not gotten the lower lows yet. We have not gotten the lower highs. That has not happened yet. So that's the next thing. So to answer your question is, once this starts making a downtrend, that is when alt season is. To me, this is the finality. Not this hour, not this day. Don't go 100x long. Don't borrow money from your grandpa or your dad or what. I'm not telling you none of that. We're somewhere in phase C. Example, ICP. Okay, bro. I believe in ICP. I have a long on ICP right now. This is the difference between me and you. My time horizon is not next week. My time horizon is not next hour. I don't care to be wrong in the wrong flavor for 6 months, 3 months. Example, ICP. Okay, bro. I still think ICP minimum goes to $35. I don't borrow money from my family. I don't max out my credit cards. I'm in a place where I can be patient. If you're not in a place where you can be patient and you can wait for it, you don't have to make up 10 years of not being in crypto in 1 month. How about XRP when I accumulated at 20 cents? And I publicly said I would be selling at $3.33, and everyone told me to move the goalpost, Ski. It's going higher. How about that? I was in that for 5+ years before I made my moves. Come on, bro. I'm a patient investor. Listen, I'm going to tell you what I think happens. Am I done with XRP? I'm not done with XRP. I sold 40% of my XRP at $3.33. I didn't get the absolute top, but my God, we got pretty damn close. I think we got the 340, 341. I sold 40%. Here's my plan with XRP upside. Here's my plan with XRP downside. And I'm going to tell you the problem, what you guys have. My plan downside, because look, we see this fractal here. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. There might be some opportunity if it continues to follow the fractal. I think that XRP will get close to $1. So at $1.11, I'm going to add to my position if the opportunity presents itself. I'm not predicting that. I'm telling you what I'm going to do if the opportunity presents itself. I will add to my spot position on XRP again. If we do not, I still hold 60% of my XRP. If we do not come back again, fine. So be it. I will be selling at $5, $8, and $12. That is the rest of my position. And I will not be making any more moves on XRP. What makes you like Flux so much? I assume fundamental. I like the charts and the fundamentals and the supply. If you go, and this is what you should do with every coin, and I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to circle back to the problem, a lot of people's problems. But just type in any coin. It doesn't matter what the coin is. But example, we're going to do Flux. And just read the white paper. Like, read about it. Read what they're doing, what they're trying to do. What are they actually doing? What have they already done? You know, read up on it. Read up on your projects. Like, who are the people? What have they done? What are these people done? They got a dog in there. And read this stuff. So when I read about Flux and I understand like the operating system, the mechanism, like how it works, what the computational power comes from, what they're trying to do, the reward structure, all of that, that's what makes me the most bullish on Flux for an AI coin. So yeah. Filecoin. And look, here's the problem. Here's the problem with a lot of people. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Here's the problem. If you listen to me, you need to understand I am a long-term investor. I'm a value investor. You shouldn't listen to me. You should come up with your own analysis. I don't want to fish for you. I'm not here to be anybody's savior. I'm not. That's not what I'm here to do. You should not listen to me. You should come up with your own analysis. My goal is to teach you how to fish, not fish for you. Okay? But if you do listen to me, you shouldn't. But if you do, I am a long-term investor. I am very patient. I am painfully patient. Okay? I am probably the most patient person. I will be in a trade for weeks, months. I will accumulate for years. Okay? So if you're not in a position to wait it out for years, wait it out for months, be in the wrong flavor for 6 months, I'm not the guy for you, bro. But I think what a lot of people do is they take advice from me and they take advice from other people who are, you know, they go in and out and they scalp and they do this and that. And they take that advice with my patient, methodical approach. They borrow money from their grandma. They borrow money from their father-in-law. They max out credit cards. Don't do any of that stuff. I am patient, slow, methodical. That served me. Being this way. Not being moved by narratives. Not being moved by emotions. I try to be as stoic as I can be. I try to be as methodical, slow, process-based as I can be. This doesn't make me right all the time. I get things wrong, but I have a good track record. I've been in this game a long time. Slow and steady wins the race. And if you can't be in a position to be patient and methodical, then don't be in the position. It's the dog for me. Yo, Ski, if you're still looking at projects on Solana, ATR is RWA with 0 inflation. Take a look. Proof of work is important. Tail uses proof of work. My only concern with Flux is that it goes below the 2022-2023 bear market. Implies weakness to me. It could mean just a retracement, which is why I think that everyone should de-risk at retracement levels. What's your price for XEN? I'm in a long on XEN right now. I like XEN a lot. I don't listen to you, and I don't want to know about Filecoin. Too much inflation on Filecoin for me, bro. Are you buying or holding right now? Yes. DNX has bottomed. I'm patiently DCAing. I think so. Do you recommend holding 88? 88 to me has the best setup. Period. Okay, so XEN and 88. All right, let's kill two birds with one stone here. Let's look at ADA. Let's look at XEN. Oh, this is not the same. I thought it was the same. It's not the same. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. So ADA has the same setup as Bitcoin in 2013. Okay. And I like it a lot. Okay. I'm in a long in ADA right now. So this is the setup right here. I thought that, so XEN has a similar setup though, and it's reaccumulating. It might get a, let me zoom in here because I think we did get it actually. It was just pretty violent. Yeah. All right. I'm going to say that this is the same. All right. This is the same. On the top is Bitcoin, or excuse me, ADA 2021 through present day. On the in the middle, Jesus. In the middle is XEN 2021 through present day. In the bottom is Bitcoin 2013 through 2017. Okay, and this is the example of the structure. Okay, it's a little bit cleaner on ADA, but it's still there for XEN. Markdown, markdown, markdown. We call that a bear market. In crypto, in Wyckoff, you call that the markdown. Then you have your accumulation, accumulation, accumulation. That's a bottom. Sign of strength marks that the bottom is done, right? You get clean out of there. Sign of strength marks that the bottom is done, right? Clean out of there. Backtest, reaccumulate. Backtest, reaccumulate. Backtest, reaccumulate. Then you get a move higher that's higher than the sign of strength, which is over here for XEN. It's pretty violent for XEN. Okay? A move higher that goes higher than the sign of strength. A move higher that goes higher than the sign of strength. Backtest for Bitcoin, the backtest was very, very violent. For XEN, the backtest was violent. Backtest, backtest. And then you start to gruel your way out of here. Okay? And when we look at ADA, it's already making micro higher lows and micro higher lows. Higher highs. It's somewhere in this structure right in here, in my opinion. And this is how the story ends. That's a markup. That's a bull run. So in my opinion, that is the next phase for ADA. 2, 4, 6, 8 are my targets. XRP is overhyped by ETH or Bitcoin. XRP is the highest performing top 100 coin. This bull market. Now, I'm a value investor. I don't care about the coin that much, to be honest with you. I will say right now, presently, Ethereum is a better value than XRP. But I accumulated XRP at 20, 30 cents, not $2 and $3. But it's hard to say it's overhyped when it literally has been the best performing top 100 coin. Literally the top 100 best performing coin. I am not adding to my XRP position. I don't think it's a good value here unless we get back to $1. That's my personal thesis. But I'm not going to agree that it's overhyped. A lot of things are overhyped. It says LFG. Oh, I missed a lot of gifts. Brandon, thanks for the rose. Bag Boy, thanks for the heart. Alina, thanks for the heart. Who we got here? The Real Monkey. Thanks for the heart, you savages.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Would you accumulate ETH right now? I am personally a little bit more interested in the ETH ecosystem coins. But if you like Ethereum, if you believe in Ethereum, I think it's an excellent value. It's below the 236. And I think at minimum it goes to 3,300 and it could easily go over 7,200 if it goes into price discovery. That's my personal thoughts. I'm not a huge believer in Ethereum long term, but I'm not naive to think that the reason that Bitcoin dominance is just ramping is because Ethereum has been crushed. And Ethereum absolutely is going to lead the altcoin market. What stage do you think Sonic is in? I think Sonic's in accumulation. And it's already started an uptrend. That's my thoughts. My top 100x play. Check out Ocean. What do you think about Casper? I think Casper's bottom. Where is my Casper? Literally. I always forget that I do that I put those things in. Nice guy, thanks for the goat, bro.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Where is my cast? Where's my snare? Nice guy, thank you for the heart, the popular guy, the team bracelet. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Okay, so Caspa, this is textbook distribution. That's the topping structure, and it brings me a lot of, honestly, it brings me a lot of a belief in Caspa long term, that from 2023 through 2024, it got this like beautiful textbook distribution. Most coins don't get that. They get like a blow off top, and that's retail led. The fact that this got a super textbook distribution, let me make this clean for you guys. This is like my 4-year-old drew this for you guys. Let's make this clean. So I like that it had healthy distribution. To me, is a good long-term sign for Caspa. And we'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this is the buying climax. And if you were watching me back here in 2023, I thought the Caspa topped here at 15 cents. And I said that we would come back to 5.5 cents to 7 cents. I did not think that we were going to get a healthy distribution. But this is the buying climax. This is the climax of buying. Even though the price goes higher, this is the climax of buying. Right? And I'll show you the textbook. Turn your pages to 26. This is going on your final report card. Buying climax is what? The climax of buying. That's the top. That is the top. But hear me. Check it out. Up thrust goes higher. But how can the top be in if we go higher? Because it's the climax of buying. Okay, the up thrust goes higher, but this is not a emotional high. It's just a liquidity high. Okay? And so that's what we got. We got an up thrust that goes higher. Right here. All right? And then what happened? And let's get rid of this, actually. Let's get rid of this. You come back, reaccumulate, get your sign of weakness, up thrust, come back, reaccumulate, and then you get a UTAD, which goes higher, again, than the UT, which goes higher than the buying climax. Okay? This is what institutional tops look like. This is a good thing that it did this, in my opinion. Okay? And so after that, you start your markdown. And look, we had this line here, these two lines here, because everyone wants a straight line up until you get a straight line up, right? And when you have this, you have a gap. There's no trading over here. There is nothing to catch it. There's nothing. So when you break through this, where did I get the target of 5.5 cents? There's nothing to catch it. Right? So this is a healthy distribution. This is a markdown. And now this is accumulation. Where? At 5.5 cents. You've already gotten deep into it. Okay? Deep. Selling climax is the climax of selling. But guess what? You go lower on the test in phase B. This is the climax of selling. This is Luna and FTX. Luna was the climax of the selling. FTX went lower. Right? Everybody with me? Okay. So this is your selling climax. Secondary test. Secondary test in phase B. Or excuse me, your spring. Lower than the secondary test. And then this is your SOS. In my opinion. Okay. This is a good looking chart. This is a good setup. This is a beautiful chart. Retracement, 15 cents. Parabolic is 46 to 60 cents. Bitcoin, bro. Bitcoin's same setup. This is the same setup as Bitcoin right now. Caspa, and the funny thing is too, okay, this is the interesting thing too. Because we're going to relate this to Bitcoin. We're going to relate this to Caspa. So I've been talking all night that Bitcoin is a stage or two ahead of the altcoins, right? In my opinion, Bitcoin is a beat or two ahead of the altcoins. They have some catching up to do, right? Which is a good thing. That's opportunity, right? You guys got to remember about Caspa. Caspa ripped when everything else was dead. It was like Pepe and Caspa was ripping in 2023 and 2024. Everything else was dead. Caspa was ripping. So to think that it might be a coin that is a beat ahead of everything else I think is very plausible. So from 2022 through, 2023, it was ripping. It did a 40x. 4,000% to the upside. So this is, to me, the same spot as where Bitcoin is. Same chart. Distribution, markdown, accumulation. This is all the same. This is a bottoming structure. Bitcoin ready for its dump soon. Is it going to pull back? Sure. Sure. Are we going to make a new low? No. No, we're not. Because this is the bottoming structure. It's as clean as it gets. Thoughts on Algo? Algo, to me, I put in the same category as... I put Algo in the same category as HBAR. Very fundamental project. Doing fundamental things. A real project, a real player with real partnerships. Right? Past inflation. Not future, not today. Past inflation. So moving forward, I put it in the same category as HBAR, and I think it's a good project. $2 is the retracement. $8 is parabolic. Ski, which is more of a value play, Rose or XEN? Ooh, okay. So Rose is going to have more upside, but because it was making new lows, your downside, your retracement is a little bit lower on Rose. So it's more of a boom bust to me, where XEN I think is a better play as far as guaranteed returns, but maybe less upside, if that makes sense. All right. Why dump, though? What do you mean? Why dump? In regards to what? Why dump what? What do you think about global M2 money supply? It's also good confluence for bullish scenario. A lot of people are talking about that. I'm not. I pay attention to M2. To me, it's just, it's something. That's not how I analyze the market, but it is something. I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest with you, how popular of a chart that has become. But yes, I do agree. It is in confluence. Like the bottom is here. It's in confluence with Elliott wave. It's in confluence with Wyckoff accumulation. To me, the bottom is in. The question is, are we going to back test to 88? 92? Or are we just going to break right through the 702? That's the big question. Scott, thank you for the popular and the heart. Azeb HDC, thank you for the rose, brother. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
What is my insight on Bitcoin right now? Okay, my insight on Bitcoin is this is a bottom. This is distribution. Okay, and I'm going to show you this fractal just to make it really simple for you. Because this is distribution. This is the 2021 bull market. This is the 2022 bear market, 2022 through 2023 accumulation, and then your mark up. Okay? This is the fractal. If we overlay this, we can see this is the same. Okay? This is distribution. This is markdown. This is accumulation. We are deep in accumulation. This is FTX went to zero right here. Who went to zero during the spring? OM went to zero during the same exact time. Okay? This is textbook Wyckoff accumulation. Selling climax, the climax of selling. secondary test goes lower, and the spring goes lower than the selling climax. That is textbook. Here is literally the text. Turn your text class to page 179. This is going on your final report card. Selling climax, secondary test goes lower, spring goes lower than the selling climax. In my opinion, Bitcoin is somewhere in phase D, which is your sign of strength. Video evidence, documented. Go look at my videos. April 7th, 2025. Look at my video. I will repost it after this live stream. I'll put it on my story so you can watch it. At April 7th, 2025, I said, the bottom's in, boys. Here is why. X, Y, Z. Here's why. And that's what I talked about. The spring was in. And then I said in that same video, the sign of strength would take us to 95 to 100K. We are here. Okay, so now this is a little bit of confluence now, okay? So there's two things that could play out from here. It wasn't there's two things that could play out from here April 7th. Let me be clear. It was, here's the spring, the SOS takes us to 95K. But now that we're here at the retracement, right? In between the 0.5 and the 702, that is a retracement. If you take a ball, right? You take a ball and you drop it, it bounces 50 to 70%. That's the same thing as a retrace. If I take a ball and I slam it, that's parabolic. Right? So now we're at the retracement, which is between the 0.5 and the 702. This whole range in here is a retrace. When you go from the top to the bottom to a retracement, there are two things that happen. And both are equally as likely. Let me be clear. You could get a back test of the prior range to $88,000. Maybe only 92K. That would be textbook. And if we break above 702, because Bitcoin has a tendency, and I'm going to show you, if we break above the 702, we are going to the Mark E, which is 118K minimum. Mark E is what we call or phase E is what we call the bull run. All right, so we're either going to get a back test at 92, reaccumulate, and then start the Mark E, or we're going to get above the 702, which is 100K, and then we're going to start the Mark E. And I want to show you why both are equally as likely. Because when Bitcoin finally breaks a downtrend, right? Here's from 2024, March of 2024 through October of 2024. When it breaks a downtrend, it does it violently. Okay, that's, you're like, oh, Ski, come on, that's just one thing. It's one example. Nope. When it breaks a downtrend, it does it violently. Ah, Ski, come on now, you're just cherry picking. When it breaks a downtrend, it does it violently. Ah, Ski, Skeeter Bug, come on now. When it breaks a downtrend, it does it violently. So look, both are equally as likely. Bitcoin has been oversold. It's been in a downtrend forever. Textbook would say backtest. But betting on that, I'm not betting that. I'm not predicting that. Because when it's oversold like this for so long, when it finally breaks it, it does it violently. Ski, come on, Skeeter Bug. Safest non-blue chip price prediction of that coin. My favorite non-blue chip is Solnic. That is my number one 100x play. ETH going back to 3K, buy now for massive profits before it's too late. I agree. I think that ETH does go back to 3K pretty soon, right? You might not think that you might think right now Ethereum is at $1,800. You might think that that is $1,800. It's like, oh my God, it's going to take forever. Bitcoin was just at 74K and is all the way up to the 618, almost the 702 in 25 days. Do you understand that this is 4 or 5 years of stock market gains? That's what Bitcoin just did in 25 days. Not a full month. Not even a Hebrew month, 28-day cycle. Not even your girl's 28-day cycle. 25 days. Okay? And Ethereum 618, the same exact structural move. I've said that I think Bitcoin is a beat or two ahead of the altcoins. The same structure. It takes Ethereum to 3,300. The 618 is 3,300. In my opinion, Ethereum, let me show you. It's just a beat behind Bitcoin. Just a beat. So in my opinion, same thing. Like you have your downtrend. You have your downtrend, right? You get into your accumulation. You get into your accumulation. You finally break the downtrend. You finally break the downtrend. In my opinion, Ethereum is right here. So this is Bitcoin on the bottom. I've said I think Bitcoin is just a beat ahead of the rest of the market. You break the downtrend and you chop here. You break the downtrend and you chop here, and then you go to your sign of strength. This took Bitcoin to the 618. The 618 for Ethereum is 3,300. You don't think it could happen fast. Bitcoin is boring until it is not. And here's the secret sauce. Buy the boredom. Don't buy it when it's exciting and everyone's like, oh my God, you got to get this. It's too late. It's too late. Is XCN a good buy? I think so. Which time frame is relevant for your analysis? Time is not my strength. Number go up. How long do you think till the bull run starts? We're here. Paul, thank you for the meek rat. Scott, thank you for the popular. Yes, savages.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Do I think Filecoin's a good buy? No, I do not. I do not think that Filecoin is a good buy, and this is the reason. Price. Listen, Filecoin is a good project fundamentally. They're doing fundamental things, right? That does not equal price. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Price does not equal news. Price does not equal fundamentals. Price does not equal what you do. Can you walk on water? Are you curing cancer? That doesn't equal price. Price equals supply. 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 Plus demand. That's it. So if you're fighting inflation, that is half of the entire variable of the price. Filecoin has way too much inflation. Not good. I'm going to show you. On the top is Filecoin's market cap. On the bottom, it's Filecoin's price. We're going to line this up. And I'm going to show you this is pretty far off. Very far off. Okay? So these should be the same. Your market cap, and listen, I don't care what the XRP army tells you. Market cap is the true price of a coin. Market cap measures the true price of a coin. I don't care what the XRP army tells you. That is the most fundamental thing that you can imagine. Okay? On the top is Filecoin's market cap. On the bottom is Filecoin's price. These should be similar. If they're off by 20, 30%, it's okay. They should not be off like this. So look, this is the same peak right here. This peak is the same peak. I'm going to show you. This peak right here is the same as this peak right here. This peak right here is the same as this peak right here. Why am I telling you this? Because when I zoom out, I'm going to show you the Fibonacci pull from the top to the bottom is the same. I did not cherry pick this. It is the same. If anything, I was more favorable. From the top to the bottom, this is the same Fibonacci pull. Why am I saying that? When we look at this peak right here, which we know is the same, this got all the way to the 382. Where is the 382? This peak, if there was no inflation, would be $91. It got to $11. Not good. This peak right here got in between the 236 and the 382, which would have been about $78. So no, I don't think it's a play. Maybe it goes to the 702. That's a 5x. 5x on price from today is okay. 5x on price from 2021 is terrible. That puts you at $17. TX, thank you for the roses, bro.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
How dare you question the XRP army? You're wrong about Filecoin's technicals? Okay, bro. If that's the conclusion you came to after I show you. This isn't technicals. I'm showing you market cap. I'm showing you price. Buy it. Buy it. Put your life savings on it. I don't care. I'm telling you what I think based off of the market cap and the price. And when we go to coin market cap, here's another way of seeing if there's inflation. Are they dumping supply on your head? Go to any coin. Doesn't matter. Look at market cap versus FDV. These should be the same or similar. If it's off by 20, 30%, that's okay. They should not be off by 4 or 5x. That means they are dumping supply on your head. Look at Bitcoin. Okay, before I click on it, I'm going to tell you, there's still 1 million Bitcoin that will be inflated over the next 100 years. So they're not going to be the same, but they're going to be similar. I'm going to show you. 1.9 trillion. 2 trillion. Look at any coin. ADA. That's what good tokenomics looks like. 24 billion, 31 billion. That's the same flavor. I'm cool. What else? I don't know. What else do we want to look at? It doesn't matter. But that's how you can evaluate, are they dumping supply on your head? Dogecoin. 26 billion, 26 billion. Great. Fantastic. Chainlink. 9 billion, 14 billion. Again, if they're off 20, 30%, it's fine. You don't want them to be double, triple, quintuple. I can't even say it. That means they're dumping supply on your head. Not good. Litecoin. 6 billion, 7 billion. Same flavor. You don't want this to be like a massive discrepancy. Like Filecoin. Not good. Let's go, Ski. Show a market cap that is good. Bitcoin. I mean, ideally, you want them to be the same, right? But Bitcoin, to me, okay. Let me put a nice clean bow on this. Who asked that? Maria the Great. Let me put a nice clean bow on this for you. Because, okay. Let me think about this. Let me. The discrepancy or the threshold, the number that which I am okay with is 50%. That is pass fail. It's just pass fail for me. 50%. Okay? Let's call this 2 trillion if let's say that the market cap was 2 trillion and the FDV was 3 trillion. 50% is pass fail for me. If this is 50% within a 4-year time frame, it's a pass. If it's more than that, it's a fail and it's a no-go. And there's a very specific reason for this. Because ultimately, when you really get it, when you boil it down to brass tacks, what are we measuring these assets in? We're measuring it in the dollar. Right? And we know what the inflation on the dollar is. They might tell you it's 2%, it's 3%. That's BS. This is the real number. This number right here doubles every 4 years. So if we're measuring it in the US dollar, if we're measuring a project in the US dollar, then this project's the threshold must be less than a double on inflation every 4 years, or it's dumping supply worse than the dollar. So to put a nice even bow on it, if the number is less than 50% discrepancy, it's a pass. If it's more than that, it's a fail. Does that make sense? Am I explaining it clearly that the average Joe can understand? Because that's what we're measuring it against the dollar. Most of you are trying to make more dollars. I'm trying to make more Bitcoin, but a lot of people are trying to make more dollars. So you need to compare it to the dollar. Is it inflating double? Ski just saved someone a lot of money from jumping their life savings on Filecoin. What's ADA's market cap right now? Okay, ADA is an example. Like a little bit of inflation, but not a lot. It's within the threshold. It's fine, right? $24 billion market cap. And the FDV, meaning this is the fully diluted value, meaning if what can be inflated according to their own blockchain, if they dumped it all today, what would it be? Right? So there's a little bit here, but that's okay. It's within the margins. It's pass fail. What's the Bitcoin dominance chart looking like? Still the same thing, Wade. In my opinion, we're working on phase C. Somewhere in here, where it stops, we will see. But we're somewhere, maybe we're here, maybe we're here, maybe we're here. But we're somewhere in this move right here on distribution. Buying climax, the climax of buying. Then you have the upthrust that goes higher. And then you have the UTAD, which goes higher. Thoughts on Solana? I like Solana. The technology of Solana is amazing. The investment of Solana is, it's kind of mid at this point right now. But technology, I'm all in on Solana. 420 is my low case. 510 is my medium. And 600 is my bull case for Solana, which is great compared to the stock market. I'm more interested in the ecosystem of that project. But here you go. Back to Bitcoin dominance. Same thing. This is distribution. Somewhere in phase C, buying climax. Upthrust goes higher than the buying climax. UTAD goes higher than the upthrust. Once this finally rolls over and we start making lower lows and lower highs, that's when we're going to start to see things really take off. And it's at 64.88%. Like, listen, it's not going to 100. I know it. It's not going parabolic. Thoughts on Ondo Finance? I think Ondo's bottomed. Ondo has a little bit too much inflation for me, though. Thoughts on ICP? I think ICP minimum gets to $35. But I like ICP a lot. I think it has a good chance of doing really, really well. D! My bad, bro. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeehaw!
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Scotty, thank you for the tiny diny, bro. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Do you like Axelar? I don't have any opinions on Axelar. Thoughts on Link? I like Link a lot. I'm in a long on Link right now. Link is so I like Link short term, medium term, and long term. From a technical perspective, it's very clean. From a fundamental perspective, it's very clean. Link is also in my kids' portfolio, which means I believe in it 10 years from now, right? I'm in a trade, which means I believe in it in the next couple of months. And it's in my kids' portfolio, which means I believe in it in the next couple of decades. So that's my thoughts on Link. $38 is my low case. 78 is my medium. And 178 is my bull case. Do you like Injective by chance? I think what's his name asked for that too. I was just about to look at it. Okay, so this was the markdown here. We talked about okay. Let's back up here. So listen, I just pulled this up, right? I didn't put all this stuff. This means that I've talked about this in the past, right? I didn't just draw all this stuff right now today. So the first thing I want to address of what I have up from the past is these lines right here, right? What I'm signaling here, this is a gap in the market. When there's no trading, gaps have a tendency to get filled. Okay? Because there was a lot of what we were talking about of INJ was like right here. And this is when I put these gaps here. Everyone wants a straight line up until you actually get a straight line up. And then you leave gaps. And guess what? Gaps get filled. So this gap has gotten filled. That's a really good thing. Because that needed to happen sooner or later. Over here, though, this is accumulation. This is your markdown, your selling climax, your secondary test. This is accumulation. Your sign of strength, your back test of the prior range, your reaccumulation, and then your mark up. Okay, this is what I've been talking about all night. This is distribution. And then this is your markdown, and it filled out this gap. To me, the bottom is in for INJ. At least the structure. It might get a spring, which would take you to $600 million market cap, but the structure is in. Most likely the absolute is in. Retracement is $2.7 billion market cap, which is a 2x from here. Parabolic is an 11x from here. So there you go. I like it that it filled out this gap. That's a good thing to me. Same thing as Caspa, right? I had my 5.5 cent target for Caspa downside because it had the massive gap in the market. Gaps tend to get filled. Is the next space with Mario on X scheduled yet? No, it is not. But we can schedule it whenever we want. We can have the tweets whenever we want. We are trying to strategically plan them the best that we can. What do I think of Algo? I put Algo in the same category as HBAR, in that fundamental project, real partnerships, real things that they're doing on the real world stage, past inflation, right? Meaning there was inflation in the past bull market, which is kind of why it has not performed that well. But the inflation is done. So moving forward, I think it's a good thing. So there's not that much left at all. It's 90 or 85% already circulating supply. That's a good thing moving forward. So I think $2 is my retracement target. Let me pull up Algo. Yeah, long term. Let me pull up their market cap too. Yeah, I like this chart a lot. This is accumulation. This is sign of strength backtest. This is beautiful. Retracement is $10 billion market cap. That's a 4x. Parabolic is 36 billion. That's an 18x. That would be insane. I would definitely de-risk at the retracement levels for sure. Which is $1. XYO, I like XYO, 10 to 20 cents. XYO is a beautiful setup. By the way, this has the... listen, Algo has the same setup too as what I've been talking about. Right? Algo has the same setup. SOS. And then your move higher. So yeah, Algo looks pretty good to me. I think a minimum of $1. I would de-risk there, meaning like take whatever you're not comfortable holding, round tripping for, 3-5 years, whatever you're not comfortable that going to zero or that being down 70%. I would de-risk that portion. But outside of that, I think it's a decent play here. And so same thing. And then let's do XYO because someone asked me about XYO. God dog it. Okay. I didn't mean to do that. It's all right. All right. So on the top, we have XYO. In the middle, we have Bitcoin. And on the bottom, we will do Algo. I don't know where my Algo went. I just had it. Where are you? Try this again. All right, cool. So these all have the same structure, and a lot of the market has the same structure. A lot of the market has this structure. You know why? You guys know why a lot of the market has the same structure? Let's get rid of this. Do anyone know why the market has the same structure everywhere? Because they're all going to do the same thing at the same time. Because it's all the same market makers. Okay? It's all the same market makers. They're all going to do the exact same move at the exact same time. This idea that it's going to be like, well, this coin, nope. All right. On the top is XYO from 2021 through present day. In the middle is the example of how this structure plays out. It's Bitcoin from 2013 through 2016. On the bottom is Algo from 2021 through present day. Okay? This is the same exact structure, the same exact setup. Okay? What is the setup? Markdown, that's what we call a bear market. Bear market, bear market. Accumulation, which is what we call the bottom. Accumulation. Sign of strength, which firmly confirms that the bottom is in. Sign of strength, sign of strength. Back test, reaccumulation, reaccumulation, reaccumulation. Move higher than the SOS. Move higher than the SOS. Move higher than the SOS. Back test again. Back test again. Cha-cha real smooth now. Cha-cha again. Cha-cha again. Cha-cha again. One more time now. And then you start to gruel your way higher high, higher low. And the thing about crypto is it is boring, grueling, boring, grueling, boring, until it's not. And so, in my opinion, Algo, XYO, ADA, VeChain, Link, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, any chart with this setup, let it go. They're all right in here, in my opinion, after the backtest of the prior range. And so this is the next move. That's the markup. That's the bull market. And like, here's the story. You ready? After you backtest, you gruel up. It's boring, boring, boring. It's disbelief, disbelief until you make a new all-time high, and then here's how it goes. We're still going. We're still going. We're still going. We're still going. We're still boring, boring, boring. We're still going. Boring, boring, boring until it is not. We're still going. We're still to this day. Boring, boring, boring until it's not. Everything, everywhere, all at once. How long did it run? How far did it run, or how long did it run? It didn't run that long. As far as time, so from the grueling up till the peak, 390 days. Thank you for the club cheers, Paul. Thank you for the popular. Thank you for the heart, Paul. Thank you for the heart, Crystal. And the popular Crystal, you savages.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
No, Skeeter Bug. Make sure you guys drop a follow. I go live 5-6 days a week. I'm uploading content every single day. Uploading 3 to 5 videos every single day. We're uploading 10 to 20 minute videos on YouTube. I've called every bottom on the day. Every time I said the bottom's in, the bottom was in. Every time I said that the bottom is in, 9 times I've done that in my career. 1 time I was wrong. 8, I was correct on the day with video evidence. The last one was April 7th, 2025. Go look at the video. I didn't say, well, maybe we did. I said, I'm going to repost it after this live stream. I said, bottom's in, boys. Here's X, Y, Z, Y. Come on now. Lovely. What about the altcoins? That is we just did the altcoins. This is the altcoins. You could replace XYO with altcoins because they all look the same. Can you look at PRQ, please? Yes, you upload content just when I think you want. Whoop. There it is. What are you saying, bro? Can you do CAS, please? CAS to me has the same as Bitcoin. It is a bottom. We went over CAS pretty thoroughly earlier. Let's do PRQ, and then I'll quickly look at CAS again. Not enough data on this one, brother. Let me see if I can find a better one. Okay, this is the same, bro. This is the same as XYO, same as Algo. I don't know what the inflation on this is, but structure, that's the same. Okay, pretty close to double. So this is borderline to me. It's still within the threshold. I would say more likely to retrace than go parabolic, which is $1.50. I wish people would date their videos. I date my videos, bro. I've been dating my videos. I've been putting them in the description. I've been putting them in the title. I've been putting them with the text. I date my videos. I sacrifice views just to put the date in there because putting the date in the title is not a good thing to do for views. But I still put it in there for y'all. All right, let's look at CAS real quick. Briefly, I would just say CAS, we have to understand the what am I saying here? Where did the CAS chart go? What did I do with CAS? Okay, this is market cap. It doesn't matter. Okay. The thing you need to understand with CAS is CAS ripped in 2023 when everything else is dead. This is very healthy distribution. Where did my God. All right, let me try it one more time. Did I get rid of it? Here we go. Okay, so this is a healthy distribution. Buying climax, up thrust, UTAD. This is 2023 through 2024, right? You had a gap here. And I talked about this ad nauseum. Gaps get filled. Okay, I had a 5.5 cent target back in 2023. Video evidence. November of 2023, I said the top's in. Buying climax, even though I know we go higher. Yes, you go higher. Buying climax is just that. It is the climax of buying. Okay? Climax of buying. The buying climax. You know what that is? That's the top. So I missed a 35% gain on CAS. But I said at 15 cents that we were coming back to 5.5 cents. That's what we did. This is accumulation. This is distribution, aka the top. This is accumulation, aka the bottom. Selling climax, secondary test, spring, SOS. Retracement takes you to about 15 cents again. Parabolic is 40 to 60 cents. Can we do an auto of SOBA and how it won't happen to Solnick? Okay, I think what you're asking, can we figure out what happened to Solnick and how I can tell you that it won't happen to Solnick? Or can we figure out what happened to Soba and how I can tell you it won't happen to Solnick? I think that's what you're asking. My answer, Soba is a meme coin. It was. Solnick is not a meme. And no disrespect to anybody, but we're not cut from the same cloth. We are not cut from the same cloth. There is not... My pace is second to none, meaning the amount of quality or quantity that I am cranking out. 5 videos plus every single day, going live 6+ days a week, is for years straight. The amount of crank that I have is second to none. I don't know if you guys believe in genotype, but I'm a generator. Okay? I don't know if you believe in that or not. I'm not even saying that I do. But I'm just going to tell you what it means. I'm a generator, which means I just work. I get anxiety when I don't work. Swear on everything. If I don't work, I feel anxious. I just work. Second to none. That's the quantity, the quality of information that I'm giving, the quality of my videography, my storytelling is second to none. So listen, no disrespect to anyone. We're not cut from the same cloth. Okay? Can you check out DeFi? Thank you for the heart, my calls. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeehaw! Thank you for the goat, bro. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Sarah Army says, do you have a Discord? I have a Discord, but I mainly use Telegram. It's in the blood. Your content is priceless. Savage. Thanks, bro. All right, DeFi. But to give you a nice, simple answer, Solnick is not even a meme coin. Solnick is a DeFi coin. This isn't really enough data. I don't know. What is the inflation on this? I mean, I guess it's a little bit of data. It looks like accumulation, but I thought that this was accumulation. I don't like that it took out a new low here. So this is a tiny, tiny coin. This is... Yeah, bro. I'm going to keep it a buck with you, bro. At 140K market cap, it's like... That's okay. Like, things can recover, and there's definitely, you know... There's a lot of inflation, too. So this is a double whammy. So... When you get to these market caps, you really got to bet on the team, because the only thing that's going to get that out of there is the team. You got to bet on the jockey, not the horse. I don't know anything about this jockey. I don't know anything about the team. I don't know what they're made of. I don't know what cloth they're cut from. But this is a lot of inflation too. Only 3% is circulating. That means over the course of time, 97% gets dumped. So for me, no. No thank you. I would love to be wrong though. Nice shirt, brother. Born Square. Thank you. I'm always wearing the cryptic shirts. If you know, you know. I decided like last month or something, I'm like, I get a million views a month. My uniform is the cryptic shirts. That's all I wear. If you look at my all my videos, you'll see every shirt. It says something. There's a message. I'm giving you 2 messages at the same time. 88 prediction, $68. Killer ski, 100 kilowatts. What OG said, and CM did some funky crap too. Eric is the DeFi man. All right, guys, this has been a 3-hour stream. I'm gonna be off tomorrow, and I'll be live again Monday through Saturday. I'll put my schedule out on tomorrow. I'm gonna put it out on Twitter. I'll put it out on TikTok. I'll put it out on Instagram. I'll put it out everywhere, on YouTube, everywhere. So I try to put out my schedule on Sundays. And I mostly stick to it. Sometimes I got to move things to the left or to the right, but mostly I've been pretty good about sticking to the schedule. But I will be uploading videos tomorrow, and I'll be uploading videos every day. I upload 3 to 5 shorts every single day, and I upload a 10 to 20 minute video every single day. I will also be uploading my Patreon/members video. So if you want exclusive access to my exclusive content, make sure to become a member. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. Those are scammers. If a yo boy ski slides into your DMs and says, how's your trading going? That's not me. I don't have anything to sell you. What's included in exclusive content? My portfolio, my calls, my trades, and my course. I upload every single week to that. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Peace, love, prosperity, God first. God bless.
Day I'm hustling.